I'm sorry. Can you forgive me? Really? I mean, I wanted to put out more content in 2013. I really did. I tried, but it just wasn't possible. I spent the first half of the year in the way up in northern Alberta, in the middle of nowhere. Didn't have a camera, and even if I did, I didn't have the space to do any shooting, and I really didn't do any modeling when I was up there anyway. I mean, I bought a couple of Gundam kits and Metal Gear Solid kit, Metal Gear Rex. I think I've talked about those in a previous video. If I haven't, though, they're pretty rad. I love Metal Gear, and the Metal Gear Rex kit is excellent. There's a Metal Gear Ray, I believe, coming out very soon, and I'm really, really stoked for that. But the other two that I built were from Gundam Wing. There was the Tall Geese and the Epion, and they were really, really nice. The Tall Geese's shoulders were a little gimpy. I don't really get why they designed them the way they did, but whatever. If they do a Tall Geese 3, I'll still be the first in line to buy one. I have... Really, the best excuse that I have for not doing more content over the past year has just been that I've been too busy. I'm settled into Edmonton now. I have an apartment. I've been here since the 1st of July. And I do have the space to shoot. I just never had the time to do anything, really. But over the last month or so, the work that I do, I work heavy construction. I drive a machine called a rock truck. It's basically a big dump truck. For most of the year, basically from about May until November, we're working like 12-day weeks. Like 12 days on, 2 days off. Monday until the following Friday. 7 a.m. till 6:30. So, doesn't really leave a lot of time to do much of anything. Especially on those weeks and months when I was working, 45 minutes away, 45 minutes to an hour away. So I'd have to leave home at 6 in the morning. I wouldn't get home until close to 8 o'clock. So, you're going to bed at 9:30. It doesn't really leave a lot of time to do anything. But things have lightened off quite a bit in the past month or so. We got our weekends back, and we're quitting work a little bit earlier now, so I do have a lot more free time. So at least until the season picks up again, I will have enough time to do the odd video now and then. I have accumulated a bit of a storehouse of kits that I want to talk a bit about. I'll be showing off what I've got and be doing unboxing videos for most of them. I wouldn't say all of them, but probably most of them. As well as talking a little bit about some of the kits that I've built in the last month or so, since I've had time. Another reason, since I've been here situated in this apartment, I suppose technically I did have time. I could have done the odd video, just something short, but my laptop that I've been using for the last couple of years for editing kind of shit the bed. Unfortunately, it's not really feasible to use that thing for editing anymore. It works okay, but it crashes a lot, so it's not really worth it to try to do any editing on it, because you gotta save like every 30 seconds, and that just drives me crazy. I was working on something like 6 months or so ago, and it just kept crashing on me, and I had to start over and over and over and over and over again, and I just ended up giving up. It was an unboxing video of the Battlestar Pegasus. It was all shot. It shouldn't have taken me more than an hour, 90 minutes to edit. It took me 4 hours because my computer kept crashing, and I was halfway through it, and I just said screw it and gave up. which is a real bummer because it's a really nice kit, and I really wanted to show it off. And it had literally just come out. I had looked online. I hadn't seen any other reviews of it yet, so it would have been nice to, be first on scene, so to speak. But c'est la vie. But I did have the good fortune this Boxing Day. If you're not from Canada or from the anywhere in the British Commonwealth, if you're not familiar with what Boxing Day is, well, technically it's basically Black Friday. At least in Canada. Black Friday has kind of started to infiltrate Canada in the last 5 to 10 years. You do start seeing Black Friday sales. We don't have Thanksgiving the same way Americans do. Ours is in October, yours is in November. So we don't get the same days off that you do. But Black Friday it's kind of become a cultural thing that we do it just because. It's an excuse to go shopping. So, like Walmart and Target and Future Shop and whatever, they've started doing Black Friday sales just as an excuse to get more people in the door. But Boxing Day has been around for as long as I can remember. Boxing Day is the day after Christmas. It's so named because it's the day, supposedly, that you would take down all of your decorations. You'd take down your tree, take down your Christmas lights, you'd put them all in boxes, and you'd put them in the closet, and you'd be done with it for another year. But Boxing Day has, as far back as I can remember, always been the huge, deep discount sale day in Canada. Bigger even than Black Friday up until the last 10 years, I think, in the States. It's bananas, man. So I wandered into a Future Shop looking for a new laptop. Expecting, I'd probably spend $400, maybe $450 on a half-decent laptop. And I found a Toshiba 15.6-inch screen, Windows 8, 8 gigs of RAM. A good laptop. Not amazing, but a good laptop. Regular price, $700. Got it for $350. And I found all my good editing software, dug it out of the closet. I was home for Christmas for 2 weeks. So I finally got a decent editing rig again. So that's good. So I will be able to finally start doing the odd video again. And first off, I'm going to start with just a brief look at some of the kits that I've built recently. Due to a lack of space to display stuff, I do have some shelving with quite a lot of Transformers and some Ninja Turtles and some other models and some various other odds and ends that I've bought over the last several months, including a lot of Lego, but I'll talk a little bit more about that later. I've kind of had to downsize on what I've been building when it comes to Gundam models. The Master Grade kits, and especially the Perfect Grade kits, just take up too much space. So I decided to try out one of Bandai's Real Grade kits. They're done in 1/44th scale. That's 1 to 144th scale. The size of a typical high grade kit, so between 5 and 6 inches. But their engineering is just bananas, man. Like, we're talking Master Grade level at least, at barely half the size. So I had done the Master Grade RX-78 Gundam like 2 years or so ago, not long after it came out, and it was cool. It was just a bit small, and I've always been more into the bigger stuff. But like I said, I just don't have the space for the bigger stuff here. So I found myself in a model shop, which there's not many in Edmonton for a city this size. I was really surprised. There's not a lot of modeling shops in Edmonton. But I found myself in one, and they had at the time, brand new RX-78 GP01 Gundam prototype from 0083. This is the ground combat version. There's also the full Vernian version, which adds the big booster pods and it flares out the shoulder armor and gives it bigger leg armor as well. I do have it, and I will be doing an unboxing of it. I haven't built it yet, but this little guy was pretty damn cool. Engineering-wise is top-notch. Much of the internal frame uses Bandai's system injection technology. Like I said, I'll be doing an unboxing video of at least one of the other real grade kits that I have, so we'll take a closer look at the system injected frame parts. But like the leg frame is almost fully pre-assembled. So you snip it off from the runner, you add a few detail parts, you slap on the armor, and it's done. And it's fully articulated and has moving armor, shifting armor parts. It's bananas, man. Like, the stuff that Bandai can do now is extraordinary. And to have such perfect fit tolerances that everything fits together, nothing collides with each other, everything stays together and snap fits so perfectly. In fact, like, the biggest shock to me when I took a look at one of these real grade kits was the hands. Like most kits of that size, they include like 6 or 7 different hands for various purposes. You know, you've got your open hands, your fists, your gun holding hands, your beam saber holding hands. But what I've never before seen at this scale, articulated hands. Ball jointed index finger, ball jointed middle ring and pinky fingers, each with a separate joint in the middle, as well as a ball jointed thumb, likewise with a hinge joint in the middle. At this size, this is smaller than a dime. It's extraordinary. You know, I mean, it makes you wonder, what is Bandai going to do next? So that was the first, one of the first Gundam kits that I've bought recently. Now, I've talked before about my love for the some of the mecha designs in Gundam Seed. Now, the show itself was kind of a piece of crap. Especially the sequel, Seed Destiny. Oh my god, don't even... Ugh, I will never watch that show again. But probably my favorite Gundam design from at least the last 10 years. I don't even know if it still is, if it's been more than 10 years or not, but whatever. Is the Freedom. This is their the real grade Freedom. It's about half the size of the Master Grade, maybe 2/3 the size of the Master Grade, and does more. It's more articulated. The wings do more. I can't really show off much like this, but it's a really damn good kit at half the size, or whatever, 2/3 the size. I was stunned when I built this thing. Like, it has every feature that the Master Grade version of the same mecha has, and does more. But same as with the GP01, it's still got the system injected legs and arms and shoulder joints, part of the torso joint. It's crazy. And because it was one of my favorite mecha designs in all of Gundam, I was really, really excited to build it. I really enjoyed doing it. So, it made me want to build more. So I've picked up a few other real grade kits recently. But we'll get to those after or in just a minute. And finally, the last Gundam kit that I've built actually isn't a Gundam, but it's one of my favorite Zeonic style mecha designs. Not a Zeon mobile suit; it's a Neo Zeon mobile suit. This is the Geara Doga from Shaw's Counterattack, and I believe has also appeared in the Gundam Unicorn series. Shaw's Counterattack for as weird as it is a damn good movie. Has some great action, some really neat and unique mecha designs that have some great design lineage. Like, you can see the Zaku influence in this thing, from the spiked shoulder armor to the shoulder shield on the one side. The whole head is very Zaku-like. The torso is very Zaku-like. Like, it's got the stature of a linebacker, but being, so advanced, it's very fast and very agile. Now, I've seen pictures of the new Sazabi that was just released, and there was also a new version of New Gundam came out last year. So I'm very, very excited to be able to build an army of new versions of all of the Shah's counterattack mecha. So I just hope that the Yak Doga comes out soon. But I'm very, very stoked for that. So that's pretty much all that I've built in Gundam in the last several months. There are a few more that I had built back home back in May. I think I've talked about a little bit. There's the aforementioned New Gundam, which overall I really, really like. It's a really cool kit. It's the Verka, the version Katoki, and takes a few design hints from the Gundam Unicorn, meaning that like some panels flip open and like you can see like kind of some green Saikamu frame details inside. It's really weird. But I just leave it closed up, just in the standard New Gundam configuration. My only gripe about the kit is the way the fin funnels attach to each other. Not very stable, not very solid. Really wish that they had done it the same way that the original New Gundam Master Grade was, because that was much more a much more solid connection between them. But whatever. Anyway, so that's what I've got that I've built in Gundam. And I guess we'll take a look now at what I'm going to be building in Gundam over the next, I would say probably the next 2 to 3 months, as time permits. We'll start with the real grade kits. This one I actually bought back home, I would say at least 1.5 years, maybe 2 years ago, and it just kind of went under my desk in my stash of unbuilt kits, which is a real bummer, because I wish I had done it, because it's one of my favorite mecha designs ever. It's the ever-present Shah Zaku in real grade form. This was the second release in the series. The proportions, I think, are based mostly on the Master Grade version 2 Zaku, with some upgrading and a lot more panel detail. That's one of the hallmarks of the real grade series. I forgot to mention is that the panel detail. There's like a lot of additional armor parts, and they're often in multiple colors. So, or multiple shades of the same color. So, like Shah's Zaku, which is typically, kind of has salmon-colored arms and legs and a maroon torso. Well, the arms and legs on this one have like 2 different shades of salmon, and the torso is like maroon and burgundy. So the 2 colors kind of complement themselves. But I'll tell you how long it's been since I bought this kit. I've actually lost the instructions. I have no idea where they are, so I had to improvise by downloading copies of the instructions onto my tablet, and I'll be using that to as a reference when building it. The next one that I bought, I've already mentioned, is the GP01 Full Vernian version. You can see on the box, it's got the twin booster pods, larger armor on the legs. It's at its core, it's the same kit as the ground type version, but just has some new features. And I wouldn't say that I love 0083 the series, but I love the mecha design, and especially the 2-unit ones. So I really hope this means that they're going to be doing a version 2 of the two of them very soon. And finally, the last real grade kit that I have, I just bought back home about 2 weeks ago, and unfortunately overpaid for because I found it at another store 3 days later for $15 less, is the Titans, or Titans version. I'm not sure, I've heard both Titans and Titans, so I'm not sure how it's pronounced, of the Gundam Mark II. And I love this color scheme. It's so attractive to me. The blue on black, you know, dark blue on black. It's so unique, and I wish that there was more Gundam mecha out there in a similar dark color scheme. And considering that so much combat in Gundam takes place in space, you'd think that they would want, and at visual ranges, you'd think that they would want something black to blend in, but whatever. I understand for the purposes of the show they want bright, colorful toys for the mass market, but whatever. Now we're going to move up into the Master Grade. This is a kit that I bought back in May when I was moving back out to Alberta. I stopped at a shop in Vancouver that I had heard about called Ages 3 and Up. It's really, really cool. They have a lot of anime bottles, but I think their biggest sale item these days is probably Transformers. Like, at least half the store, if not more, was Transformers, and I love Transformers. And there was a lot of rare stuff, a lot of third-party, like indie toy stuff, and a lot of Japanese stuff. But they had quite a lot of Gundam as well. So I've been eyeballing this one. I thought about buying it a few times, and I figured, what the hell, I'll snap it up because it looks interesting. This is the Master Grade RX-0 Gundam Unicorn from the series version. There's two different versions. There's the manga comic book version and the series version, which I'm not sure the differences between them, but from what I'm told, they're not significant. But it was significant enough that Bandai could double dip and rape the wallets of the fans. Speaking of raping wallets of fans, when the last one came out, I told myself I'd never buy another one, but Bandai knocked it out of the park with this one. This is the version 3.0 RX-78. Very early on in the life cycle of this YouTube channel, I did the version 2.0, and I did the build-up on camera. I think I don't remember exactly how I did it. I think I just filmed the whole thing and then sped it up with captions, or and had like the occasional voiceover bit. But this one I think has pardon me, I'm getting over a cold. This one I think has very similar proportions, similar overall style, but aesthetically derives more from the real grade kit, which, as I said, the real grade kits often have multiple colored armor parts. So like the arms and legs, instead of just being pure white, have like eggshell white and, you know, slight off-white. I don't know if you can quite make it out in the pictures on here, but you can see on the legs there's like panels that are very slightly different shades of white and gray. I've always been a fan of RX-78, so I figured, I got it cheap, so I figured, what the hell, I'll pick it up. And finally, once again, speaking of raping the wallets of the fans, I was introduced to Gundam via the series Gundam Wing, which aired in Canada on YTV in the early 2000s. The first Gundam model I ever built was Wing Zero. So it has a special place for me. When I found out that they were doing a Master Grade Wing Zero, I was super, super excited. And then I saw the pictures, and I realized that there was something weird about it. It was not it wasn't really Wing Zero. They were calling it the Wing Gundam Proto Zero. I'm guessing that means that it's a prototype version of the Wing Zero, not the version as it appears within the show, which the differences aren't huge. Like the torso of the Gundam is effectively the same, but the differences are in the wings and in the shield. I think there's some slight differences in the torso armor, a little bit here and there. But I'm convinced that within 6 months or so, Bandai will be releasing a series version, and it's another one I'll be double dipping on. Because I love the Wing Zero, but I just didn't want to wait that 6 months or a year, because who knows when it would come out and when I get a chance to build it. So this was kind of my stopgap. So that's what I've got in terms of Gundam. I've been keeping a lot closer tabs on what's been going on in Gundam, because it's much easier to than what's been going on elsewhere in modeling. So imagine my surprise when I walked into a hobby shop sometime over summer, and I saw a reissue of Polar Light's NX-01 Enterprise. Not just a reissue, but a retool. Sometime after Enterprise came to an end in 2005, the original ship designer, Doug Drexler, devised a refit idea for the NX-01, which added this secondary hull, and did some redesigns to the warp nacelles and a few other details to kind of bring the NX-01 more in line with the standard saucer shaped primary hull and cigar tube shaped secondary hull design. You know, as an intermediary step between the original version of the NX-01 and the 1701 and subsequent styled Enterprise starships. So that was really neat. I snapped one up right away because I'd built the original version in this scale. This is the 1000th scale snap fit series version. I built the original version of it years ago, and I wanted to see the differences. But like I said, I've been pretty out of the loop on what else has been going on. So imagine how surprised I was when I saw that. Imagine how much more shocked I was when I saw this. Jesus Christ. This is the last of the big kits that I ever expected was going to be re-released. Considering how much of a failure the series was, and the original version of this, Polar Light's original release of the 350th scale NX-01, was not successful. From what I understood, it tanked so badly they almost didn't do the 1701 refit. So for it to be reissued is, wow! I couldn't believe it. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't include the refit secondary hull like the smaller one does. It's just, to my knowledge, it's a straight re-release with a new base, the same way they've done with most of their kits. But I haven't even had a chance to open the box, so I have no idea what's different besides what is written on the back of the box. But it's very nice to see that they've reissued it, because that kit kind of did get the shaft. Had a very short production run, and aftermarket sale prices for them were just astronomical. So it's nice to have it back available to fans. Especially for me, because mine, which I built probably 6 years ago now, maybe almost 6 years ago, it was the first model I ever did with lights. It was the test bed for doing my 1701 refit. Mine suffered a bit of a calamity when moving. Unfortunately, it fell off a shelf, and well, let's just say it was a total loss, which was a bummer. But it happens. So it's nice though that if should I ever have the time, the resources, the desire, I could do another one. Because I was never happy with how mine turned out in the first place. I used the wrong kind of wire, and there was a lot of bad joints. And the paint job was great, I thought, but the decal work was not so great. I opted to do it as the Mirror Universe version, in part because the decal sheet that my kit came with was so old and so decrepit that as soon as the decals hit water, they just shattered. And I was able to salvage enough of them to make it work, but not well. You know, the finish on it was very crude. So whatever. But I'm happy that it's back available to fans again. So that's pretty much all there is to say about model-related stuff. Like I did say, I've been doing a lot of Lego. I'll do a video about Lego at another time, because I've been enjoying that quite a lot as kind of a stopgap, because it doesn't take as much time to do a Lego kit as a model kit, but it's fun, and it's really neat to see how modern Lego comes together. So, like I said, I'll be doing I don't know if I'll do an unboxing review of a Lego set, but I will definitely do a build-up review, probably of this one, which I bought about 2 months ago and haven't gotten around to building. This is Lego's Volkswagen camper van, which it's a 1,300 piece kit. It's one of their larger kits, not one of the largest. To this day, I think the largest kit they've ever released is somewhere in the neighborhood of 5,000 to 6,000 pieces, and retailing for north of $800. But this is it's a fairly high-end kit. It's for collectors, for like adult collectors. Even the age range on the box even says 16 plus. Yeah, I bought this a couple of months ago and haven't gotten around to building it, but it'll be really exciting to build it because I actually have a little miniature version of the very same Volkswagen van, about this big, that was given away as a promotion at Lego stores back in October. And I wanted to have this to display alongside it. So that's pretty much all there is to say about what's going on in modeling. I'm going to be trying to do at least one video a week, give or take, until I clear out my backlog, which will probably continue to grow as fast as I clear it out. I'll be doing some... I'll be talking a little bit more as I'm building some of them about the real grade kits, how unique and how different they are from other similarly sized kits, and even some of the bigger ones. And then, like I said, I'll do a Lego video as well, and whatever else I can think of doing. So hopefully 2014 will be a very productive year for this channel. I was very sad to leave it so abandoned for most of the past 2 years, and to kind of move away from what I've enjoyed doing for so long. I mean, even the last 3-4 months of activity in 2012, a lot of it was paintball, a lot of it was gun related. It wasn't model related, I know this channel has always been whatever my hobbies happen to be at any given time, but it's always had a more direct focus on modeling than anything else, and I haven't done a lot of modeling related videos. Really, it's been almost 2 years since I've done a lot of them, and I want to bring it back to its roots. So that said, thanks everyone out there for watching. Happy modeling.